Hi, what's up? What's up? Okay, let's do this. So in the last stream, we looked at arrays. So this was an example of an array, the books array, and we looped over an array. I told you that I have seen some people use a different syntax for arrays. So for example, something like name, not Bain, name. And that would be sort of like an arrow here, like this. So named arrays is what I called it. I think that's what we're going to learn in this episode. It's called associative array. All I know about it is that I've seen it in the wild out there, and the name of the chapter that we're going to explore together is called associative arrays. Maybe it's this one. Let's find out.
All right, welcome back. Let's keep focusing on arrays. So you now know how to define an array, which is good, and you can loop over them. But yeah, what about situations where you need to interact with individual items within that array? For example, if I want to grab this value here from the books array, how do I do that? What is the appropriate syntax? And actually, it's not too hard. Within a paragraph tag, I want to echo.
Okay, pause. So let me give this a shot as well. I'll use a h1 tag to make it a little clearer. I would say something like, let me enter PHP echo mode again. I don't know what it's officially called. I'm going to call it PHP echo mode. And give me the books array. And on index, let's say index 3, which should be catch 22. I think this should be it. So how this works is arrays are zero indexed in most languages. So zero index means they start counting at 0. So this is the 0, 1, 2, 3, catch 22. 4, 5, 6. Okay, so there are 7 items in this array, but we start counting at 0. So this is the index of the item. Think of the index as like a chapter number, or number of the number of the thing that's in the number that's associated with the thing that's in the folder or the array. So in most programming languages, it starts at 0 because computers start counting at 0. So 0, 1, 2. So if I was going to give you an example, this would be number 0. This would be 1. This would be number 2. This would be number 3. Therefore, what I expect is the h1 with the book, catch 22. Let's see if that's what we get. That's indeed what we get. So that's how you work with arrays in most programming languages, and I'm glad to know that in PHP it's just the same. So books number 3. I bet he has a better way to for us to do this.
Go out this item here. So I know I'm working with the books array, and if I count 1, 2, yeah, it's almost like I want to do something like this. Go into the books array and give me the second item. And actually, that's not too far off. We can use brackets here like this, but it's not going to give you the result you might expect.
It'll give us Project Hail Mary because computers start counting at 0. So 0, 1, 2.
Let's have a look. Refresh. And yeah, I get Project Hail Mary instead of 1, 2, the Langoliers. So I asked for the Langoliers, but you gave me the third item instead, which is really confusing until you realize that for most programming languages, if you're working with a list, it will be 0 based, which effectively means the very first item will have an index of 0, and then you count up from there.
So important distinction here is, rather not a distinction, important thing to note here is in almost every programming language, this is the case. Almost every programming language starts with a 0.
So in this case, it would be 0, 1, 2. So now we can see when I say from the books array, all right, 0, 1, 2, Project Hail Mary, and sure enough, that's what we get. So in our case, if we actually want the Langoliers, well, 0, 1. So I would update this like so, and that works. And of course, if I want the very first item, again, that would be an index of 0. And that's how I would grab it.
Easy.
All right, very cool. But now let's take it even further. Most of the time, you will require more data than simply the title of the book, right? For example, who is the author of the book? Is there a description of the book? What about the category? Is it horror or sci-fi? Things like that. But how do I represent that data, that associated data, when all I have here is a string? Well, think about it like this. First item of any array. In this case, I have a string. But it doesn't have to be a string. If I wanted it to, it could be, it could be an integer. It could be a number. It could be a Boolean. Or it could even be another array. And what's cool about this is now I have a sort of container or a folder for information specifically about a single book. For example, the name of the book, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? The author of the book is Philip K. Dick. And then a URL to where we can purchase the book. And yeah, this is definitely an improvement. So now if you add more books, just add more arrays. And we'll do one more. Project Hail Mary is written by Andy Weir. And then once again, some kind of URL to buy the book.
Okay.
But there is one issue here. If I come back to this code 6 months from now, I may not remember what that URL is for. Is it a URL to purchase the book? Is it a URL to download the PDF after you purchased it? Is it a URL to the author's website? You just don't know. And it would be nice if there was a way to associate a key with each value here. Okay. And in PHP, we can do that. It's called an associative array.
Okay, pause. Before we get there, I want to focus on what is happening here, because I think we've flown past some magical code here. What's happened essentially is we're creating an array of arrays. So if I can simplify this, I'm gonna remove all of that. I don't think we need this. So what's happened here is essentially we have an array with another array saying 1, with another array saying 2, another array saying 3, for example. Okay, so this is essentially what's happened. Now if I do the same thing like I did over here, I'll get 3 and I'll get 1, 2, 3 over here. Array. Oh yeah, because it's an array of arrays. In fact, I should do this 3 index 0, I guess. Will that work? No, it won't. Okay, so this is completely different. Let me not confuse you. Essentially what's happened is this is an array of arrays, and what's happening within here is he's saying within each array of arrays, let's have names of books. So let's say Shantaram, the author of that book is Gregory David Roberts. I'll just say GD Roberts for short. And you can buy this book on www.buybooks.com, for example, whatever that website is. I don't own that website. I don't know what kind of website it is, but let's just say, to be clear, that's what it is. Let's do this again for a different book. The Godfather. I hope he was also a good father. The Godfather, Mario Puzo, I believe. Mario Puzo. Am I spelling his name right? Let me just double check. The Godfather, Mario. Yeah, I am right. Let's go. You can get it on www.idgf.com. Again, I don't know what this website is, but this could be an example. Let's do this one more book. Let's say the book we're talking about, The Art of Thinking Clearly, Since it's right here on my desk, you can't see it, but I swear it's there. By ROFL DOBELI DOBELLI, the belly. And you can buy it on www.buygoodbox.com. Okay. Something you might have noticed is I haven't given a comma at the end of the last item in the array. That is optional. That's true for most programming languages, and I think this will work as well. So this is essentially an array of array. So a folder of folders. There's one folder, two folder, three folder, and each folder has 3 items that is stored within a bigger folder called books. Hope that's clear.
Kind of a fancy term, but it just literally means associating a key with a value, like a key value pair. So let's do this one.
Amazing.
What would be a good key for this? Well, it's the name of the book, right? So let's call it name. And I create the association by making an arrow. So I have a fancy font that makes this arrow look pretty. Yours may not do that.
I have that font too, so I'll tell you what that is. It's called Fira Code, but there's many like these. I think the site is nerdfont.com or something. Yeah, nerdfonts.com. You can get many of them. There's different fonts that do pretty much like this. So they turn your equal to and greater than arrow sign into greater than bracket sign into an arrow of sorts. So this is the one I have. Fira, F-I-R-A. Yeah, this is the one. Fira Mono Node font. This is the one that I'm using. Or Fira Code. I think it was Fira Mono, whatever it was. So you install that into your VS Code. So essentially you install that into your system, and then you go to File, Preferences, Settings, search for font. See, Fira Code is the one that I'm using. Fira Code, not that one. So it's not this one, Fira Mono, it's this one, Fira Code. Download this, install this to your system, and will this in. So what will happen is essentially if I say name equal to greater than, I will just remove the space here. Voila, it turns into an arrow. It looks cool, nice quality of life improvement, but you don't have to do it. It's just something that helps me feel smarter, to be honest. And website. Sorry, I'm typing in the dark here, so please excuse me. Yeah, it's the key next to it. There you go. I think this is what he'll teach us.
But it doesn't matter. All I'm typing here is the equal sign and then a greater than sign.
Mm-hmm.
So let's do another one. Well, author, right? So author, arrow, and then this could be purchase URL. Yeah, and the way I think of it is this key points to that value.
Mm-hmm.
This key points to that value, and this key points to that value. And one last little thing here. Notice how I made that U capital?
Mm-hmm.
And this is a basic convention for many languages. If you have more than one word, make the first letter of the new word capital, okay? So again, you might see some people do this. That's fine as well. Conventions can be followed or ignored. You know, it's up to you. And we'll talk.
I prefer to follow them. This is clearer. So to use this in a key value pair is helpful, although you don't have to because it's a string. It helps. So I'll change this to purchase URL as well. It's just so that I'm following the convention, although I don't have to. And remember
that
the
more
last
in the
episode,
future.
one of the previous episodes, we decided to call a variable. We researched how to name a variable in PHP. That was also following the same case, so it helps.
Okay, so now let's do this one too. Here's the name, here's the author, and here is the purchase URL.
Okay.
Okay, I'm liking this.
So I'll show you a trick. I'll show you what I'm doing is holding down the Alt key or Options key on a Mac, pressing this here, this here, this here, and this here. So what's happened essentially is I am see what's happening. It's called a multi-line mode. I am creating multiple edits on different lines. Quite handy. I'm going to do that one more time because I need to add the same information here. So name, see I'm typing on 2 places at the same time. This is so cool. Name, author, purchase URL. Fancy, right? So what you need to do is press the Option key and then click on wherever you need to, and you can move things around with your arrow keys on your keyboard.
Now, check this out. If I want to loop over it like we did in the last episode, well, once again, PHP for each books as book, and I'm going to use the alternative syntax, and for each. Now,
it's the same thing over here, but I bet he changes this. So book, I bet it'll be something like name, I guess. Let's try that. Oh, easy as easy as it gets. This is fun.
in the last episode, we echoed out the book itself.
You know what? Let me be a little fancier. I'll just say book name by book author. Why is this giving me an underline? Interesting. Let's see what happens here. Okay. Unexpected buy. Okay. I think this is the case where echo would work, or actually, you know what? I just need an inverted comma over here so that this is delineated as a string. Does that work? No, it doesn't. Okay. Can I just enter normal PHP mode and echo? This should work. But it's not. Okay, let's wait for him to get to it. I'll undo all of this. There you go.
Right? But that's not going to work. And already you can see my editor is kicking up a file.
I think I know what to do. I have to just say bye. Open up PHP mode again. This is a little clunky, but I'm pretty sure it'll work. Yeah. I need a space here. Easy peasy.
And we'll see that in the browser too. Yeah, so what's happening here is when we loop over the books array, each item now within that loop is not a string. It's an array itself. So we're basically saying, print the array to the screen. And PHP is going, I don't know what you want me to do here. So it sounds like we actually want to print the name within that array. Okay. So you'll remember at the beginning of the video, we learned that we could access items within an array by using numbers. But when you're working with an associative array, you can instead use the key itself, sort of like an
Let's go. So intuitive. I love this language.
identifier. So in this case, let's replace it with name, and now we will get exactly what we had before. All right? Very cool. So let's think about it. Let's extend it now. Maybe I don't just want the name of the book, I also want a link to where you can purchase the book. So let's add an anchor tag.
Okay. I'll add the anchor tag on the name of the book. So to do that, I'll just anchor href. I messed it up. I'll fix it. And I want to enter PHP mode. So I do that by doing this. And close the anchor tag over here. I do that by closing the anchor tag here. So I'll just give you an example. Let's just say google.com. Does that work? Yeah. See at the I'll say https. Okay, so at the bottom left screen of my screen over here, you'll see the link being of light, so that's correct. There's an extra space at this. Okay, cool, so I'll fix this. I don't need the extra space. Yeah, much better. But I need this to be the name of the book. So over here, I guess I can enter PHP mode again. PHP echo mode specifically, and just say books, book per URCHAC purchase URL. This should be in quotes, and let me exit this. So add the purchase URL of the book, and then say the name of the book, and then state the author of the book. But there's a problem here. There's an extra space, so I'll remove that. Okay, let's see if that worked. There you go. www.buybooks.com, buythegodfather.com, buygoodbooks.com. Now the purchase URL is like this. That's why it's happening. So in fact, if I change this to HTTPS, you know what? I'm going to do the same thing that I did the last time. Multi-line edits. Here, and here. HTTPS : / Now it'll be, yeah, all of these are different links. If I want, I can set the target equals to blank, so that it opens in a new tab. Get equals blank. I think that's the, oh, I'm sorry, not in PHP mode. What did I do? I meant to Control X. Oh, I opened the extension sidebar. I need to go to view. What am I even doing? I'm sorry. I think I pressed some wrong buttons. Control X. No. This. Cut. And I need to paste it over here, the end of the href. And I can hide this. So if I do this, it'll be a new, I don't want to risk it by opening a website on live stream. Yeah, okay, cool. Buygoodbooks.com is available, or no one's using it. Interesting. No, someone has it, but Nginx failed, which means no one's using it. They're probably squatting the domain. Cool. It's a little tangent there, but that's how you create a list of books with a link to purchase them and the name of the author, and have that link open in a new tab.
And yeah, we kind of want something like this. All right, come back, give it a refresh. And ideally, each of those books will link to a unique URL to where you can buy the book. And we already have the purchase URL, so let's reference that. Book, purchase URL. Okay, and if I come back, give it a refresh, yeah, look in the bottom left portion of the screen, and it is working. Okay, so you're making really good progress, and you're starting to learn.
I want to pause and note that he's using a single inverted comma to reference the named associative, the key in the associative array. I don't know why, but that's probably on purpose, knowing Jeffrey way. So I'm going to follow that pattern too. It kind of makes more sense. It feels more elegant. I don't know, just some things feel right, and this is one of those things that just feels like the right thing, because most other strings and everything else is in a double inverted comma. Referencing to that part of the associative array should be in the single inverted comma, I guess. He's done the same over here as well. Interesting, he's done the same over here too. Should I just... I think I'm a little too invested in this. It's a little too late to change this now, but for sake of correctness, let me fix that too. Let me know in the comments if that's standard practice, meaning if that's something that, God, I fucked up. Oh, excuse me, I messed up. I'm gonna undo this right now. Yeah, let me know if single inverted comma or double inverted comma, what you prefer within associative arrays. I just try to do double inverted comma everywhere.
Learn how you can construct slightly more complex data sets. And trust me, you can take this even further once you learn a bit more. Okay, but I think we're going to call it a day here. A quick note before I let you go. If you're watching this at laracast.com, if you look below the description of every video, there will be a short 5 to 10 minutes max homework that I would encourage you to work through, just to make sure that what you watched here is being committed to memory. And if you're instead watching at something like YouTube, go to phpforbeginners.com, find the episode number, and then you also can work through the homework. Okay, so onward to the next video. I hope you're excited. I'll see you later.
Let's try. phpforbeginners.com. Let's go. The fundamentals. Oh, I've already completed this from an alt account with the quiz. I think I aced this quiz, that's fine. Am I in the right? I have no recollection of doing this. Is there homework here? Homework. Extend the list to include release year and immediately after the book's title. Okay, let's try that as well. Shantaram. I think it was early 2000s. Shantaram was released in no, not the... Wow, they made a... Oh yeah, I forgot about it. They made a whole like series on Apple TV Plus. I haven't seen it, but I want to know about the book. 2003, told you, early 2000s. So I'm gonna do one thing. Add a comma here. Release year. Since this can be a number, I'll just say 2003. Godfather was released in the 70s, I guess. Oh, 69, almost. Nice. Nice number, 1969. Go away, Corso. 69. Art of Thinking Clearly, I think 2011. 2013. Okay. What I'm gonna do is book, and I'll just add this thing over here, what's called bracket. There shouldn't be, I guess there should be. Let's see how that looks. Let me I gauge things based on how they look. So in this, I want to know the book's release year. Let's see. What? RELEAS. What's happening? Did I misspell release? Yeah, I guess I did. Cool. This looks good to me. Yeah, this looks good to me. Consider homework done. Okay, thanks for tuning in to another episode. This was Associative Arrays. Shout out to Leracast. Please go visit them and check out the whole course linked in this video's description as well. Alright, thank you. Take care. Have a wonderful rest of your day.